December is finally here, and that can only mean one thing. We're entering the midweek Premier League rounds. Hello, and welcome back to the Tom Langford YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be predicting the results ahead of game week 14. Let's just dive straight into this. The first game of the midweek round is between Bournemouth and Everton. Interestingly, Bournemouth have won the last 5 meetings, with Everton failing to score in 3 of those meetings as well. Interestingly as well, Everton have never managed to win at the Vitality Stadium. Despite the obviously suspension to Senesi for this game, I can still see a pretty easy and comfortable Bournemouth win, given obviously their strong pedigree and history against Everton in the Premier League. So for this one, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for the Cherries. Another game on the Tuesday evening is between Fulham and Manchester City. Some very interesting stats heading into this game. The last time that Fulham managed to beat Manchester City in the Premier League was back in 2009, thanks to a Clint Dempsey brace. And interestingly, the last time Fulham managed to win at home versus Manchester City was even further back, all the way in 2005. So that recent record does not look very good for Fulham heading into this fixture. However, interestingly, they've only lost once at home all season, and that was against top of the league Arsenal. So I do think they will put in a good shift against this Manchester City side. However, I just personally can't see the win, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Manchester City. The final game of Tuesday evening is going to be between Newcastle United and Spurs, probably the game of the day for the Tuesday games. Interestingly, Newcastle have won the past 3 meetings between these two sides, and goals are very easy to predict as well for this fixture. Interestingly, the last 0-0 that came between these two sides was all the way back in 1971. Yeah, I said that correctly. The last 0-0 between these two sides was all the way back in 1971. There's only actually been 3 0-0 draws since their first game as well in 1905. So goals are going to be plenty for this one. Spurs, interestingly as well, have the 3rd best away record so far in the league, and have also scored the 2nd most goals away from home this season. So I think there's going to be plenty of goals in this game. I can't really pick a winner, so I'm going to go for 2-2 between Newcastle and Spurs. Heading into the Wednesday games then, first up is going to be Arsenal versus Brentford. Arsenal, interestingly, have won the last 7 meetings between these two sides and haven't ever lost to home at Brentford within the Premier League as well. Brentford also have one of the worst away records so far in the league. They've actually only managed to win 1 on their jollies so far this season. And interestingly, Arsenal unbeaten at home, only conceded 2 goals at home all season. So for that reason, I think this is a very easy fixture to predict. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win for Arsenal. Brighton versus Aston Villa is another game taking place on Wednesday night, and this is kind of the clash of the top 2 informed teams within the league right now. Aston Villa have only lost 1 of their last 10 Premier League games. Brighton also come into this 4 unbeaten as well. So I do think this is going to be a really, really hard game to call this one as well. Villa, interestingly, have the 3rd best home record so far this season. I can see plenty of goals in it though, as interestingly, there's been 15 goals in the past 4 meetings between these two sides. So lots of goals in it, lots of potential pride on the line with good unbeaten records and long, obviously, stints without defeat. But I do think Villa edge this, given their strong home record. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Aston Villa. The next tie we're going to talk about is Burnley versus Crystal Palace. The last time these two sides met at Turf Moor, Crystal Palace ran out 2-0 winners that day. No real surprise there. And I imagine it's probably going to be a very similar result again in this midweek round of the Premier League. Despite obviously Burnley being the worst side for expected goals conceded, they've actually only managed to concede 6 at home so far this season. So they are keeping it tight, just giving away a lot of big XG chances, unfortunately. However, they're 4 without a win. I really can't see them beating Crystal Palace, so I think it's going to be a tight game, but I'm going to just go for a 1-0 win for Palace in that one. The worst side in Premier League football right now is back in action on Wednesday night as well, as Wolves take on Nottingham Forest. Interestingly though, the last 3 out of the 4 meetings between these two sides have ended in a draw, so maybe Wolves might be able to potentially get some more points on the board. They are still the only side within England's top 6 divisions yet to get a win on the board as well, and they've conceded the 2nd most home goals as well so far this season, so not a good time to be a Wolves fan as well. However though, Despite them conceding plenty of goals, Forest have also been really, really poor on the road. Very poor watch for their travelling fans as well. I've only scored 5 in away games so far this season, so I can't really see, Forest blowing Wolves out the water, but I also can't see Wolves winning this game. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Nottingham Forest. Leeds versus Chelsea is also on Wednesday night this week, and Leeds will be looking to recreate that famous 3-0 win over the Blues back in the 22-23 season. However, they are coming up against an informed Chelsea side right now. Interestingly, Chelsea have only lost one of their last 12 games in all competitions. Meanwhile, Leeds have only managed to win 2 of their last 12 games in all competitions under Daniel Farke. You feel the pressure is building on him. You feel this Chelsea team as well are really, really good in form at the moment. We saw that with the record. I think this is going to be an easy win for Chelsea, so I'm going to go 3-0 to the Blues. The final game on Wednesday that we need to talk about is between Liverpool and Sunderland. The last time these two sides met at Anfield was all the way back in 2016, where Liverpool ran out 2-0 winners on that day. Interestingly, speaking of 2-0 wins, Liverpool managed to stop the rot of that 3-game losing streak that they were on with an impressive performance up against West Ham. However, I do feel like they're going to find the Black Cats a little bit more difficult this week as well, as they've only lost one of their last 6 Premier League games. And interestingly as well, on the road, they've managed to keep things really, really tight so far, have Sunderland only conceding 6 goals so far. I think it's going to be probably a tight and cagey affair, but I'm going to give the advantage to the home side. I'm going to give it to Liverpool, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Liverpool against Sunderland this week. And the final game of match day 14 is going to be between Manchester United and West Ham United. Interestingly, the Hammers have managed to win the past 4 out of the 5 meetings between these two sides, but they come into this game with one of the worst defensive records in the Premier League. They currently find themselves ranked 19th for goals conceded, 19th for expected goals conceded, and 19th for big chances conceded as well. So you do feel like that United attack is going to be getting plenty of opportunities and really going to be pairing for that one. Their last clean sheet came all the way back in match day 3. So I'm going to go with a United win here. I can see plenty of goals for them as well, given how poor West Ham have been defensively in recent weeks. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Manchester United. And that is going to conclude this week's Premier League predictions. Of course, if you've got your own, get them in the comments. Make sure you're liking the video and make sure you're subscribing for more content on the channel.